To the Neighbor Star League at the Nexon Arena live. We just had Deer getting out of the group in first place in the winner's match. He did not drop a single set today, went 2-0 against GuMiho, and then went 2-0 against the surprising winner in Myungshik. And now Myungshik will go down to that final match, but first off, we need to find his opponent, and one of those players could be Rogue.
It could be indeed Valdez. Can he play better against the Terran today is what I want to know. A little bit disappointing up against Myungshik in that first match of the day, and he's looking a little down in the dumps right now. If I would have to judge him by his face, we don't know for sure. Maybe he's just really focused.
Yeah. I mean, Deer also, when he gets in the game, he's like scowling almost, but then he just like kills his opponents.
Well, like think of Sue, for instance. He looks like an axe murderer before a game.
Pretty much.
it all depends on the player.
Yeah. Rogue, I don't know, I wouldn't say his play was terrible, but he just looked a little bit off. Like, his multitasking was 100% there. Myungshik was definitely, like, controlling the game.
Yeah, he was.
Like, sometimes Rogue was just out of position or not really dealing with the attacks that Myungshik was giving to him.
Yeah, he kind of got a little tunnel vision in what he wanted to do in both games as well, which is kind of disappointing going for the Viper tech before anything else.
Yeah.
But here is GuMiho, and GuMiho looked pretty strong in his matches, I think. His second game was actually pretty impressive. Very fun to watch, a lot of multitask drops.
Yeah.
And I think we could see that again against an opponent like Rogue.
I hope so, man. It's a very fun style. But here we go into the map bans and picks. We do have Foxtrot Labs and Merry-Go-Round banned out by the Zerg in Rogue, and Catalina and Nimbus will be banned out by GuMiho.
Yeah, I mean, not too surprising. And remaining maps, obviously Deadwing, Overgrowth, and King Sejong. Pretty standard maps in Overgrowth and King Sejong. And Deadwing, I mean, can be pretty positional based on who really gets the advantage on that map. Vertical-wise, it would probably be the Terrans, so they can parade push just a little easier to the third and fourth of the Zerg.
Well, guys, we already have the countdown going. The first map is going to be Deadwing, as we just saw. This is set number 1 of the losers match. The loser will be knocked out of the Neighbor Star League. The winner will have one more chance to go up against Myungshik. It's Rogue versus GuMiho in the losers match. Let's jump into game number 1. Up here in the top right in the red, the Zerg player, the only one in the group, from the Jin Air Green Wings, he is Rogue.
Sad Rogue.
He just took like a big sigh there, man.
Yeah, man. He's gotta pump up. He's gotta drink a hot 6 or something. And here to the bottom left, it is GuMiho from Invasion Esports, the Tau Terran, because his hands sweat too much.
GuMiho looks determined, man.
Yeah.
He looks so focused right now.
Well, when you're not on a Kesper team, like, you don't have as many opportunities, but there's no pro league for you. You don't have, like, the massive team of pro gamers to play with you as well. So I feel like these players that are trying to play from these foreign teams are probably just a little bit more motivated or a bit more driven to succeed because they are kind of coming in as the underdogs.
Yeah, this is very important to them. Whereas, like you said before, Rogue can just be in the house kind of and survive. GuMiho is trying to make a living regardless. And Rogue, I feel like he's just got to pull his mindset together a bit here. I think he is, I don't know, I would still rate him as the better player if I had to choose one. You know, GuMiho's like an amazing player as well, but I would still put Rogue a little bit ahead, and Rogue being one of the best Zergs we do have out here. And as long as he plays his game and he doesn't get too, you know, into his head or too nervous or anything like that, I think he should be fine.
Well, that's the scariest thing, isn't it? Like, what we're just seeing from him in body language alone is like, makes you just a little bit worried for him. It's like, well, he's pretty upset about losing to Myungshik like that. Like, he really just didn't seem on point.
Yeah,
especially when you like look at his recent results and he's defeated like Classic and Hero and like a bunch of other pro players that are miles above Myungshik.
There's just something about Myungshik, man. It's like Sulky and Shine. Sulky is like 0-10 versus Shine.
Well, it's because Shine just 9 pulls every game, and like
pretty much.
Then
yeah,
everyone else started realizing that, including Rogue, which got him here in the first place.
And Rogue, I don't know. He's gone 3 times down now to Myungshik in a row. Maybe just getting into his head a bit here. You have to think about Rogue, like, he's going into this match against GuMiho in the losers match, but even if he wins this one, he has to go up against Myungshik once again, and that is, like, such a scary possibility for him. He already went down 2-0 to Myungshik. He has to play another best-of-3 if he wins this one.
It is a scary thought. And, you know, some players just get into your mind. Like, you think twice about whatever's happening, and then we did see that in Rogue's games. He was like making sport rolls when he didn't have to. He didn't know what was going on until it was too late. He got kind of outmaneuvered and outplayed in ways he should not have happened. And the funny thing is, like, we'll probably see Myungshik play against another top Zerg, maybe Dark in sometime soon, and Dark will just handle him.
Yeah.
And Rogue will look at it and be like, well, that looked easy. I should have done that.
Yeah.
It's just about mindsets.
It's a pretty good point. But so far in this game, just have a Reaper expand out of GuMiho, whereas Rogue just going for Hats first. And he actually makes 6 lanes, even though they are cross-spawn. Pretty interesting, I have to say, because by the time those guys get all the way across the map, they're not going to do much damage.
Yeah, 6 lanes, maybe a little too many in this kind of situation.
Yeah, I mean, at times we've even seen Zergs just make 2. But I guess with the Reaper,
it's kind of like a safety net. Like,
yeah.
6 is guaranteed safety. 4 is like safe, but can be kited and killed before the queens get on the map. And I mean, if GuMiho went for multiple Reapers, then it gets a little bit trickier, because then you're dealing with 2 Reapers, and if you have 6 lanes, you can still kind of fight them. But if you only have 4, then you're just going to get your butt whooped.
Yeah. Well, Speed about to finish up here, and back at the base of GuMiho, he's actually going to finish his 3rd CC before Rogue even starts his 3rd. Or at least the timing should line up pretty close.
Yeah.
Hatch is going to come down, but the CC's about finished.
I do like what we see from Rogue as well, going for that debris, stop any sort of tank drop that might happen. And I mean, this is GuMiho we're talking about. He is definitely likely to do such a strat. Not today, though.
Yeah. Overlord sees the tech lab on the starport, but GuMiho just makes a Viking first because he saw the Overlord that saw the starport. So he's just going to clean that up first. And here comes some Hellions. Just 2. Going to poke at that 3rd.
Do about 10 damage to it. And yeah, just a Viking.
They find a way in, but again, Speedlings on creep are pretty fast, so it doesn't want to just sacrifice them.
No, you're not going to find much. Not with 2 Hellions. But he's still continuing to make Hellions, so we'll wait and see how many he's going to go up to. And if we're going to see an armory anytime soon as well. I get the feeling, Veldez, we are. Okay, we're definitely seeing mech from GuMiho. And mind you, this is a fantastic map for mech, which is something I completely forgot to mention. You can get 4 bases so easily, and 4-base mech is so hard to deal with Zerg once it's up and running, once they have the powerful composition they need to deal with whatever you're going against. So let's see how Rogue is going to go about this, and if he can find out in time what it is, because that is one of the big important sort of things you need to know as Zerg.
Yeah.
Is it bio? Is it mech? If you find that out too late, you will just lose the game because you won't have what you need to threaten it anytime soon.
Exactly. It affects your upgrades. It affects your unit composition. And like you said, he needs to get that scout on here. But as of now, he's not doing the best because he saw the tech lab on the starport, but he didn't get another scout. So he's adding some sport crawlers. They could just be safe, but I think he was more than likely expecting something to come out of that starport.
I think on this map it wouldn't be half bad to go for Overlord speed, just to try and get in there and get a decent scout off. And I mean, to get someone like GuMiho, who definitely loves his mech more than anything else.
Yeah, man.
It's so important.
Melee upgrades for the Zerg.
Well, he can still go ultras, which is, you know, one thing. Like, even against mech.
Well, he's certainly going to have a lot of time to do it. That is one thing. This Viking has been so annoying. It's already got 1 kill.
Yeah, we do see 2 medivacs out. So we're going to see some Hellbat drops. Or maybe a Hellbat at the front sort of attack. See where they go exactly. He's going to be morphing them into Hellbats inside the base once he's dropped them. Nice work with this Viking. Kind of makes sense, exact sense why he made the Viking. He's cleared pretty much a path, except for this one Overlord that might actually see these 2 medivacs.
Yeah, I think it's going to run right by that one.
Oh, yeah, busted.
You've been caught.
You've been caught. But what is there to stop this? We see Zerglings, 3 queens on the low ground. I mean, still not really enough to deal with it. We're actually seeing Banelings being morphed, which I don't actually think that's a half bad idea.
He may just keep these as Hellions, to be honest. That's a lot of Hellions.
Yeah, if he finds these Banelings, he can actually deal with them too. No, he's going to put them in the Hellbats.
Okay.
He's going to drop it on top of the Banelings. Maybe? No, on top of the drones.
Going for the drone. So far, about 1 drone going down. I hear a lot of Baneling explosions, possibly on those Hellbats down to the south. And so far, not that much damage. Another hit could do it. No, only getting 1 more drone here. And that doesn't look like it was the most worth drop we've ever seen.
I mean, it got rid of a lot of gas in terms of Banelings, I guess. Like, it was like 7 or 8 Banelings worth of gas. So, like 200 gas and 3 drones. Nah, not really worth it. But I might have actually given away as well. Yeah, I think it did give away that it is going to be mech. Because no one usually drops that many Hellbats. And we do see the Roach Warren as well as the Infestation Pit go down, as well as Zerg missile attacks.
Yeah. So he has identified this. One thing to note as well, Rogue's creep spread is extremely good. He's got so many active tumors out there. It's going to be very thick. He's going to extend that right over the base of the Terran. Another very useful tool for dealing with mech. Ooh, 2 Vikings on the map are going to find 2 Overlords.
To make things even harder. He's going to get supply locked, maybe? No, he's going to let the second one go. And what are we seeing from GuMiho? We're seeing so far tanks being added and a couple of Thors. 1 tank, 2 Thors. So keeping his composition kind of mixed, but he doesn't know exactly what the first kind of tech plan from Rogue will be. Terran can choose the right one. They're going to be in a very comfy position going into the mid game. It's kind of like the Zerg's kind of one of the ways to play this early on. Go for either Muta or Roach early, then make the switch. Once you see Terran commit to counter one of them with their composition. Obviously, Roach is going to do very well against Thors. He's going to do very well against tanks. But what if they go both Valdez? You see 3 tanks.
That's the question.
3 tanks, 2 Thors, 4 Vikings. So a bit of a wacky-do composition, but it's going to be more than enough to deal with these Mutalisks and whatever's coming else after that. And we're going to see Rogue go simply into Swarm Hosts.
Yeah, not a bad idea. I mean, I guess there would be less paths if they were at kind of the vertical spawns, but still, it's a pretty long map. Get out there onto your very thick creep and just start playing passive, start taking a million bases. I think this is going to be a bit of a longer game, guys, so definitely go ahead and tell your friends, post on Reddit, do whatever you want to do. Tell them that Rogue versus GuMiho is happening. This is only game number 1.
Game number 1, it's on Deadwing, and it is mech. So it's going to go forever. But here we go. Finally, GuMiho moving onto the map. He does run into Swarm Host, though, forcing the tanks to siege up. Good position, though, to get rid of a lot of these active pre-tumors. And some queens getting chopped as well. And it looks like the Mutalings are going to come in and try and maybe trade with some Thors. No, just simply not enough DPS.
Yeah, not the best trade. He takes out a Swarm Host as well, and even the Vikings landing, keeping 2 of them in the sky. The rest of them do land. This is a pretty strong mech comp so far. He's adding more tanks into it.
Yeah, well, one of the strongest things is the fact that they are 2-2 at this point against the 2-1 of the Roaches and Locusts. And maybe, just maybe they can clean this up. It's going to be close.
Oh, man.
Finally, the Locusts are doing some work.
The Locusts are doing a ton of work there. Really cutting down on that mech supply, going all the way down to 156. And I think GuMiho's going to have to back off a bit here.
Still, he did kind of push up a long way. Didn't get rid of all the tumors, though. He needs to kind of start scanning a little bit more if he wants to make this an easier push. And reducing the launch pad on these Swarm Hosts.
Yeah. But already Hive is up here for Rogue. He does have 90 drones. And a bit of a Thor drop on the way here, but it is totally scouted. Not going to do anything.
I think he might still do something. He's going to leave it for now. Instead, going to try and trade with the tanks. Using the cover of the Locusts. Getting rid of a few. Still, these 2 Thors could take out a hatchery very quickly. And there's not really much around. We do see some mutas.
I mean, he saw them, but it's not like, okay, there we go. Again, these are Thors we're talking about. Thors are pretty good against mutas, but
not when they're spread out in the magic box.
Yeah. Really nice micro here out of GuMiho. Picking up one, having the other one do a lot of damage.
Oh, wow. Is he actually going to get rid of stuff?
Oh my god. Okay,
no,
there we go.
Nearly.
Oh, just barely. Okay.
Not really worth the 2 Thors, but I mean, if there was nothing there, he could have claimed that 3rd hatchery pretty easily.
Yeah. Rogue now 98 drones.
That is almost too many. Yeah, almost. I mean, it's good to have a clear economic advantage, especially against something as ridiculously cost-efficient as mech, but still, like, you need an army as well to kind of deal with what's coming on the map. And we are seeing Hellion run-bys as well, which is so dangerous.
Yeah, Blue Flame done.
When they are, I believe, 3-3, 2 Hellions can 2-shot a drone. Just makes it that much crazier.
3 CCs being added right now. GuMiho coming in for a bit of a hibernation game.
He's going to sleep on this one.
Yeah, man.
And nice counterattack to the 5th base. Ooh.
This could do a lot of damage. He does get this around with a bunch of drones, but now the Viking's going to join in to land and take out that thing. But at the same time, hold that thought, Locust and Ultralisk, as well as some Zerglings coming in, trying to clean up all these tanks.
Oh, he's going to get rid of a lot of them. Resetting the tank count is so important, especially when you're going Swarm Hosts. But still, more and more tanks coming out of these factories at the same time. That is 7 tanks at the front. Should be enough to get rid of this many Locusts pretty convincingly. And 3-3 Vikings actually doing a lot of work on this 5th hatchery. But thankfully, Ultralisk come in the nick of time.
The Vikings go back up into the air, snipe an Overlord and a Muta. Uh-oh. Hellbats out here, make quick work of the Zerglings. And finally, the land comes back. He's trying to take out the hatchery, but not as successful as he thought it would be. These Mutas should be able to clean them all up. And that Viking force is going to be taken out.
Yep, eradicated. And not a bad Muta switch at all. We see no Thors at the front lines here, defending against the Lucas. So Mutas could just fly in, deal with the Vikings, potentially, and then go for the tanks.
Well, first step here is take out that missile turret and start getting to work on those SCVs. Already 6 of them going down. Could take out a gas possibly at the same time. Uh-oh, that medevac is in danger if he notices.
That medevac.
He didn't quite notice it.
We do see 2 spies upgrading for these Mutas as well. Has to kind of start making catch up on them because he is fighting against 3-3 mech at this point.
Base is being taken all over the map by Rogue. He knows this is going to be a bit of a long one as well. He's getting all the upgrades that he possibly can.
And now that we have seen, ooh, nice, we do see Banshees added as well, so we can start pushing these Swarmers back. If these Mutas are out of position, there should be point defense zones. There are at least 1.
That's a lot of Mutas. He's getting right on top of those Vikings. Where are the Thors? I saw 3 coming out of time. They're not with this army.
Where are they indeed? They're kind of trapped behind the tanks, actually.
Yeah, even 1 tank trapped behind those tanks.
Yeah. I mean, if those Thors got even 2 shots off, all those Mutas would be toast. With 3-3 upgrades like that. Just insane. So Rook's going to have to be very careful where he flies them. Ooh, Ling run by. Can they actually get in? Nope.
Maybe just throwing away some supply.
That as well. Now we're kind of getting to that stalemate situation outside the 4 bases of the Terran. No real way to get in just yet.
It's a lot of Mutas. PDD coming into the mix this time, and the Thors there as well, but this is just way too many Mutas right now. GuMiho forced to back off. A lot of Vikings picked off at the same time.
Mutas are getting pretty low, though. And he has to move back. Thankfully, they do have quick regen, and he can remake them. And he is making 15 more. Wow. So staying on Mute's not a bad choice, I feel. Only 4 Ravens at this point. Not using the Seeker missiles either. Going for point defense drones. A lot of mech users will sometimes just go for like a critical mass of Ravens, which can be a good idea because it can always completely zone out the mutas with point defense drones and secret missiles while you move forward, as well as kind of zone out the swarmos as well because you fly on top of them and just drop a ton of secret missiles.
And right now, Rogue's got 37 mutas.
Yeah, that's a lot. Granted, if they get too clumped together, those 3 Thors can do a lot of work.
Uh-oh, Hellbat's here. Trying to assassinate a queen should be quite easy. Gonna work at those drones as well.
Oh, that was a lot of damage.
Yeah, look at that supply drop down a bit here. Taking a bit even more damage. Now coming in trying to snipe some Ravens, but the PDDs come in, and already Rogue going down to 155 supply there before remaxing on some Ultras.
Yeah, he lost a lot of supply there. I mean, a lot came from that that hatchery as well. Losing 15 drones and a queen. 7 Ultras there. Still, that is so many tanks to go into, so I don't even know if he can make it work, even if with this many Ultras. That is about 13 tanks, 3 Thors, battle cruisers now, 2 of them, and some Banshees. It's a lot to deal with. Maybe with some nice blinding clouds. Maybe if these mutas can get a nice position and start dealing with these tanks. I feel like getting rid of the tank count is pretty much the key to getting in.
Yeah. And you know what you were talking about before was that 4 bases is easy for mech, but the 5th one is a bit out there towards the left. May split up this Terran mech army a little bit.
Well, just a little bit. I mean, look at where these mutas are now. In the 3rd base, getting rid of gas, which is very important for mech Terran. And trying to do damage.
Battle cruisers have so much armor, though.
Way too tanky.
And here come the Ultras coming into the 5th base, but too much there.
Yeah.
A wall of missile turrets even. Scans going out on the map. Those swarm hosts got to get out of there. They do. They run out.
Yamato cannon just finished as well. Next time he sees him, he'll probably start nuking him.
Tons of scans going out over this giant creep field. The mutas now significantly less in number, but they are enough, it seems, to snipe out some missile turrets. There's the repair, though. Not enough of the SCVs. Just going to get some and try to attack at the front with some Ultras, but no.
Yeah, he's just getting rid of supply at this point. There's no way these mutas are doing anything. Well, he's going to fly them away, so maybe not. Or maybe he chooses to. There's not much left. No much point for them to survive any longer.
Yeah. And 13 infestors.
I wonder about this as well, Valdez, because how is he going to kill battle cruisers with infestors? Infested Terrans are going to do like 1 damage. Bungle's not going to do anything unless you have like 300 of them.
I guess he's just going to try to bungle like a lot of those Ravens.
Maybe if he get rid of the Ravens, like he can go for Corruptors, like Mass Corruptor to deal with it. Might be the one choice he has. We are seeing the Ultras kind of counterattacking to the 5th base again. SCVs flee for their lives. And it should be lifted in due time while this massive death ball from GuMiho goes across the map.
GuMiho may be looking to end this game. He's sending nothing back to deal with the Ultras. He's got 1 battle cruiser there.
Well, we are seeing infested Terrans go down, but that is not the answer. That is not the answer at all. Look at that. It didn't do anything.
He lost 4 infestors.
4 infestors, and they almost killed 1 tank. Until it got healed up.
Second battlecruiser comes out. These Ultras not getting all that much damage. It looks like 15 SCVs, but it's not that bad as a huge Terran army is coming straight towards your base, taking out your swarm hosts, and getting those tanks in a great position.
Yeah, there's nearly no hope left for Rogue at this point. We are seeing 23 Corruptors be made. He's still very sufficient energy on the Ravens. He hasn't really used them for anything yet. He can drop about 6 point defense drones, which should be more than enough for these Thor Viking battle cruisers to clean up absolutely everything.
Yeah, and those Corruptors coming from that like 7th base over there towards the northwest. Just getting picked off 1 by 1. He's only got 27 Corruptors now. And GuMiho, he only has 24 SCVs. Okay, this is some good fungals coming down on the Ravens. He has to chain it, though. He doesn't really get it much. The infested Terrans coming out more so. And this is a pretty puny number of Corruptors right now against all of these battle cruisers. GG.
just not enough.
What I was saying there was GuMiho, he only had like 24 SCVs, but he was maxed out. So he had the like most gigantic mech army possible.
Oh yeah, and I mean like the amount of orbitals he had so